So to do this, we do three things. You set up your DKIM, you set up your SPF, and then you set up your DMARC. Okay. And this is the point where it starts feeling really fucking confusing, right? Like, what are these things? And guess what? Like, I couldn't tell you exactly what these things are either, but you don't need to know that to do it. First thing you have to do is set up your DKIM. All right. And I just want to point out, before you can set up your DKIM, I'm going to go over to Kartra now. All right, if we just go to regular Kartra, this is my demo account, but the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your domain, okay? So this is a demo account, so I don't have access to like setting up a domain for this account, but this is the thing, I'm just letting you know, before you set up the DKIM, which we're about to do in a second, you need to set up your domain. So your domain is going to be the same domain you use when you do your DKIM, okay? So move on to step one, setting up your DKIM. So you're just going to go to this little person icon, and we're going to go down to Kartra DKIM, okay? And it'll pull up this, and then all we have to do is click DKIM record, and this is where you're going to put in the domain that you want to connect to. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this in two domains. I'm just going to choose a random domain for us to start with. I'm doing this in Google domains, and I'm also going to do it in Namecheap, okay? So just to give you a couple examples of how these look a little different, but what fields you're going to fill out, all right? So right now I have this domain pulled up. It's modernmysticbiz.com. So I'm just going to copy that. Okay. That's the domain we're going to work with for this. All right. So you put in that domain. I'm going to put that domain in, and then we're going to click add DKIM record. All right. So what's really great about how Kartra has this set up is that it just gives you the exact instructions of what you're supposed to do right here. So one, log into your DNS provider. Okay, so log into your domain host. For me, in this example, it's Google domains. It could be Namecheap. It could be GoDaddy. If you don't have a name, if you don't have a domain already, I would recommend setting it up with Namecheap. Basically anything besides GoDaddy, because that one's just a little more complicated to set up your domain. Okay, but I'm going to try to keep this simple right now. All right, so you log into your domain. I'm logged into Google Domains right now. Then two, navigate to the DNS management section. So right here on this panel, I have DNS. I'm going to click that. And then that is going to pull up this little custom record area. All right. So if I go back to Kartra, okay, find the DNS setting or the DNS management area. This is often in the domain management or setting section. Okay. Now, so we've logged in, we've navigated to the DNS, and now we have to add our CNAME. Okay. So look for an option to add a new record. This is typically labeled as add record, create record, or something similar. So if we go here, see how it says create new record? I could just start here because it's blank, but we're going to go to create new record. And then you need to add 3 CNAME records. For each record, select CNAME as the type of record. Okay. All right. So all we have to do now is copy each one of these into our domain. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. So we go to Google Domains. The first thing it says is the type. We're going to scroll down and put in CNAME. Okay. Then we're going to come back over. Here's our host. All we have to do is press copy to copy that. And we're going to go back over to the host name. And we're going to paste that in. Now, this is the thing that's a little interesting. What I do like about Google Domains is that below this, they show you what this domain looks like. So the one thing you have to do is erase the modernmysticbusiness.com, right? We just want it to say these numbers, the SK and then the numbers. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. And so see how now this has 2 dots down here? Like if I could zoom in, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, let me zoom out just one. All right, so see how this has like 2 dots now because this dot's here? We're going to want to erase that dot. Okay, let me click that. And actually, let me turn off Jasper because that's popping up all weird. Hi, Jasper. Okay. All right, so now see how it's just this number, sk2930.modernmysticbiz.com. That's what you want it to look like for this host name, for this host section, okay? So it would be just this part. All right, so that's really important, okay? Just this part. Now, we copy this points to, and the points to field is going to be the value, okay? So if we go back over, now we're going to put in the data. We're just going to paste in that information from that second. We're just going to copy this, paste it in, okay? So now let's do it for the next one, all right? So we have, me out of the way. Okay, so we have CNAME is our type, put in the CNAME. Then we go to host. I'm going to copy this, go back in, just paste it. We're going to delete the .modernmystic.com so that it just says K01 underline domain key. Your host name, these might actually be the same for every single domain too, by the way. So, okay, so then we're going to go back over to Kartra. We're going to copy this second information, and then we're going to paste this in here. All right. And then we create one more record. This is our third record. And we are going to, once again, copy this, go back over to our domain, paste it in, and then delete it to that little period. So it just says domain key.modernmystic.biz. Okay. And then we're going to go back over, copy this, and we're going to paste that in. Okay. So once you have set this up, that's all you have to do. Okay. This is all you have to do. You press save on your domain, and then you go over to Kartra, and you would press, yes, I confirm that I have completed the CNAME records, and then you press finish, okay? So it's going to take a little time for it to validate, and once it has validated it, it's connected it, it's going to say connected, okay? It's going to turn green and say connected. All right, so that is how you set this up. Now, I'm going to walk you through this one more time using Namecheap, okay? So you can kind of see that like the fields are similar, but a little different. So let's do it. Okay, so here I am logged into my Namecheap account. I'm in the dashboard, and if I go to here, I have a recent domain, and all you're going to do is click manage to access it. So it's very similar to Google Domains. It looks different, but very similar. All right, so now we're going to go to, because I'm going to show you, okay, let me copy this. This is the domain we're going to be working with. Going over to Kartra, I'm going to paste in this domain. Oops. It might have to be a .com domain actually, but okay. So I'm just going to put in modernmysticcontent.com, okay, to show you for this example. Okay, so now we're going to go to add the thing. So we logged into Namecheap, we pulled up the domain we're going to use, okay. Then we are going to navigate to the DNS management area. So this could be under domain management or settings. In Namecheap, it's going to be advanced DNS, okay. So in Google Domains, we're looking for DNS. In Namecheap, we're looking for DNS, okay? So wherever it says DNS, this is where you want to go. All right. Why is this thing being slow? Oh, okay, let's see here. Okay, so I was like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, it was just being slow. All right, so here we have our DNS pulled up. See how it looks a little different from Google Domains, but it has similar stuff, right? So we're going to put add new record, right? This is the same thing as here. We're going to look to add a new record. So it might look a little different depending on who your domain host is, but this is what we're looking for, the DNS section, and then we're going to look for add a new record, okay? So once again, we're going to add these 3 CNN records, okay? So we're going to go back over. We're going to put in this first record, scroll down till we find CNA. Then we have host. So we go back over here, copy in this host thing. We're going to paste that in. And then I am going to delete the modernmysticcontent.com in the period. So it just has this SK293L. And see, this is what I liked about Google Domains is that like when you put it in, it actually shows you what it looks like. So it makes sense of why you'd have to delete it because you wouldn't want it to be sk293.modernmysticbiz.com, right? Because that's what it is. All right, so don't want to make it overly complicated. We're going to go and then copy this points to the second thing, and that is going to be our target. You're going to paste that in here. You're going to leave this just as it is. Then you're going to press OK to save those changes. Then we're going to add in our next record, okay? We have another CNAME record. We're going to go back over, copy this host, paste that in, delete the modernmystic.com. Oops, actually, I deleted too much. Okay, we're going to delete the modernmystic.com and that period. So it just ends at domain key. All right, then we're going to go to target, which is the points to. We're going to copy that, paste that in here. And then we're going to add our final record. I'm going to copy this final host key. We're going to go down to CNAME, paste that in, delete the modernmystic.com or whatever your domain is so that it just ends with domain key with no period behind it. And then we're going to copy in this final target points to information, okay? And these are all automatic. So all you would do then is press save changes, save changes, save changes, and you are good to go on this part. Once you've done that, you would press yes, I confirm that it's been provided. You're going to press finish, and that is going to now set this up, okay? I'm going to remove these because this was just an example. All right, so that is what you have to do to set this up. Now, the one other thing I want to show you is the second part, okay? So the the 3 parts are set up your DKIM, then set up your SPF, and then set up your DMARC. This is where it just sounds really confusing, but you know, like I showed you, it's not that bad. It's just copying and pasting in the right place, okay? So let's now, and let me know if you have any questions in the chat, okay? I'm going to keep my eye on them. All right, sorry, I made the chat the whole page for me. Okay, so now we're going to set up our SPF, right? That would be the second part, but super exciting. We don't have to set that up. That is set up automatically with Kartra. So already got 2 out of 3 done. Okay. You set up the first one and the second one's already done for you. Okay. If you want more information on that, I have a link right here. And so this is where you can learn more about the SPF if that's something you want to learn about, but it is not necessary. If you've configured the Kartra, the DKIM, which we just set up, then it's already been provided for you. You can just skip this completely. Is okay. All right. So the final thing we have to do is now create our DMARC record. Now, I'll tell you, the first time I set this up, I did it all at one time. And I was trying to test like emails through Kartra and I just like stopped getting emails. And so that was kind of worrisome. I was like, oh, it didn't seem that complicated, but I'm afraid I just messed this whole thing up. But it was because I actually put the DMARC in too soon. So I had done some more research and like Google domains, for example, recommend waiting 48 hours after you configure that first piece that we just did to set up the second piece. Okay. So just give it some time. I would say like you do the DKIM, you can pat yourself on the back. You've done a great job. Take a break, come back tomorrow and do this part. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how to create your DMARC records. All right. So essentially the DMARC records is pretty straightforward too. We're going to go to the Kartranaut training on this because this is how I figured it out. Okay, they give you a lot of information on how this works. Now, this is one thing that's really important that they point out here. When you are setting up your emails to get emailed from Kartra, you want to make sure that your send from email and your reply to email are the same. Okay. So you want to make sure that they have the same domain. You don't want to be sending like one email from, I'm just going to continue using the Modern Mystic. Like, I don't want to be sending an email from modernmystic.com, but then the reply to is support at, shaunacoaching.com or something. You want to make sure that you have the same domains with both your send from and your reply to emails, okay, in Kartra. All right, so not trying to make that more confusing, just make sure that your send from and reply to are the same email. That would just be the easiest way to do it. Okay, so let's talk about creating your DMARC. So let me just say very briefly, the purpose of this part of the process is so that scammers can't hack your email, okay, and send emails that look like they're from you to other people to scam them, okay? This is what setting this up prevents. So the way we set this up is very similar to what we've done already, okay? You're going to set it up in the same place. So here we are in this DNS setting in Namecheap, for example. And so when you set this up, all you have to do is go back into this section for the same domain, and you're going to press add a new record. Oops, let me pull up the guide here. And instead, though, you're going to set up a new TXT record, okay? So instead of CNAME, that's what those other ones we've set up are, you're going to set up TXT record, and then your host is going to be this, okay? You're going to copy this straight from this Kartra tutorial page that is linked right here, okay? You're going to copy this DMARC, and actually, I'm going to put this in so that you can just have it on this page, okay? Host is going to be DMARC, okay, underline DMARC. All right, so we're going to put in this host, paste that in, that underline DMARC, and then we're going to go over to here, and you're going to put in your value or content, okay, and that is going to be this information right here. And I have it right here in this document, okay, so this is what you're going to paste into. So we're going to keep with that example of modernmysticbiz.com. You're going to keep this all the same, this part. The only part you have to update is the mail to, okay? So you want this to be like whatever your support email is or how people contact you. So I'm going to put in support at modernmysticcontent.com, okay? And you would put in, whatever your contact email is. And you want it to be the same domain, right, that you're working with here. So whatever your domain is, you want the send to email address to be the same, okay? So you just paste that in. You just put in your email address, that's that domain, and paste it in there, okay? And then you would press save changes. All right, so that is it. Now, just know there's this thing called propagate that your changes have to propagate. And I actually had to Google this because I was like, I don't understand, what is this? And what it means is that it just takes a little time from when you put this information in for it to, go across the entire internet and work, okay? So you're going to set that up. That's all you have to do. And once again, like I'll show you on Google domains right now, you go to create new record, type, you're going to put in TXT, the host, we're going to put in that DMARC, okay? I'm going to paste that in, and then we're going to put in for the data, we're going to copy in this info, and then just paste that in here too, okay? And then I would press save. All right, and in terms of this TTL you're going to keep it the same, okay? Just what it's automatically set up as. So that's all you have to do, all right? Now, the last thing you can do, and then it's going to take just like an hour to kind of propagate or whatever, make sure that it's like working with everything, all right? So it's not that complicated. Come back to this training and just do it step by step with me when you're going to set this up, okay? And like I said, do that first part, right? Set up this, your DKIM. This one's automatically done. And then come back the next day and set up this DMARC, okay? And once you've set up all of that, you can make sure that it's configured correctly by just going to this link I have here on this page. This is a DMARC like check records thing. So I set this up for modernmystic.com already. I would just go to DMARC lookup, and as you can see, like it's set up. If it's not set up right, it's going to be all red, okay? And it will say like not connected, all right? So that is how you can check and make sure that it is correctly configured. And in addition to that, on your Kartra platform, right, when you go to KartraMail, this will say connected as well, okay?